today's video, I'm going to explain to you or give you the pros and cons of Facebook advertising versus Google advertising. Now, I'm talking about the paid advertising, not the free stuff like where you post free stuff on Facebook or you try to get free searches from Google. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how when you want to invest money in marketing with the various platforms and you want to spend some money and make it back, you want this to happen now. By the way, that's the key difference, by the way. Free marketing takes forever and sometimes doesn't work. Paid marketing, if you know what you're doing, is pretty fast, like within a day or two, and works quick. So that's already one difference you should know. So now, the Facebook versus Google, the two sides of things. These are two very different platforms, and they're not really the same. They have a completely different outcome when it comes to putting money into them. Both of them can be very good, but you've got to know what you're doing. Google is great because it's generally intent-based. The person has decided, I need to search for a chiro. I got to find someone to handle this knee pain. They've searched in knee pain solutions or sciatica solutions or neuropathy solutions. They've searched for it. They've already originated it, they want the help, and they're just looking for someone to give them the help. That's a great person right there, right? That is somebody that you want to pay money to get in front of that person because they're picking somebody and they're looking around. Who am I going to pick? Who am I going to pick? And you want to be on that screen when they're picking the person they're going to do business with, because that's about as much research as a lot of guys do on it, honestly. Especially men, by the way, do very little research. So they say they do more research than they actually do, but that's a different video. Okay, so you have a very high intent base, which means the person is much more likely to show up in the office. It takes a lot less effort to get their butts into the chair in front of you, right? And less effort because they've already got the intent. They've self-generated this intent, right? Great. Versus Facebook ads, right, where you're interrupting them. The person they're doing out there through their normal day and they're scrolling down their Facebook feed or something, and then they say, boom, oh, sciatica. Oh yeah, I've got sciatica. Oh, you've interrupted them. They're interested though, you've interrupted them, and now you're changing their mind and getting there. They're being sold, but they're not as motivated as the first person, okay? So far it sounds like Google leads are awesome, right? The Google, why would you do Facebook if Google, those guys want to come in right away? Here's the big problem. Two big problems with the Google side. Google, it's very hard to control quality. Any ding dong can go into Google and search and decide he wants it, and he's picking you and he's coming to see it, and you don't know who he is. Is he qualified? Can he afford care? Is he looking for a free lunch? You really can't tell. All you know about the guy is he's interested and he'll probably come in. But when you sit down with him, you'll probably find your close rate can be a little lower depending on how well you may have qualified them on the phone, okay? That's one. On Facebook, you can totally control the quality. I can only send it to rich people. I can only send it to people who are already active-minded, Whole Foods shopping, Macy's buying, people who just can't wait to spend their money on the right thing, right? So I can make sure that the right people see the ads there. On the Facebook side, a little harder to get, but you're more likely that when you sit down with someone in front of you, you're very likely to have someone that you can actually, who's qualified for care. So of course that goes into how you would treat these. The ads would be different. So on Google, your ads are almost always going to be offers. You're not talking about how great your office is or how friendly and clean it is. You're talking about, hey, free consultation, come on in, seats open now. Here's if you're doing chiropractic type special, okay, here's our deal, come in and get this, all right? You give them a reason to contact you over the guy who's on the line above you or the guy who's on the line below you, right? That's what you're doing with Google. On Facebook, you're beginning a relationship. It's a lot earlier in the process. So you might say, or our ad that says, let me describe our program to you, what we do, and here's some success stories. Okay. You may even start earlier than that and build a little relationship, a little authority, a little content marketing, and say, here's an article on how to handle your sciatica or your knee pain or whatever it is, or what causes bone on bone. What is that when you say people say bone on? What's that mean? You give an article and they read that and they go, oh, this doctor knows this thing, and oh, he's here in my town. Oh, and he's got spots open for new patients. Ah, you're building that relationship with them. So you have to be a little more finesse. So Google is the fast, hard pitch, right? And Facebook is the subtle, nuanced conversation that you build a relationship with them. Both of them can work. Now with Facebook, you can build that authority so when the person comes and does sit down in front of you, they're much more educated, they're much more likely to buy from you because they know who you are. They've already read 2 or 3 articles from you, something like that, right? So that's something you can do. You can deepen that relationship. Where Google, it's going to be a very thin transactional mindset on the part of the person at first. Facebook will give you more of a relationship that you've started there. It's also better for compliance long-term if the relationship's good, but that really, once they come into the office, you sort of take over the relationship there from the marketing. Makes sense, right? Okay? All right, now, another difference between Facebook and Google that you should know about, this is important for those of you who want to actually build a large practice. How many people per day search Google for sciatica in your area? Who knows? Say there's 10, say there's 20, say there's whatever. There's a finite number every day of people who are going to search for that search term in a given day. That's it. And you can't make more searches. That's it. You can fight for more searches. You can pay more to get those searches. But if there's only five in your town, there's only 5 to go after, and you're capped at that. You cannot get above that. You might even if you got every click and ended up with every possible lead, you'd still max out at a certain point. Again, they're good, but there's only so many each day. Because remember, you're waiting for the public to make the decision to reach out for it. On Facebook, because you're doing interruption marketing, all you have to do is show the ad to more people and you'll get more response usually. There's limits to that because you only have so many of the perfect audience and you go to less perfect audiences that respond less. But generally speaking, you spend twice as much money, you get more result, right? That means if you look at your schedule books in the next couple of weeks and you say, ooh, it looks thin next week, you can just turn the Facebook marketing up and get more people to come in. Where with Google, you got to basically get whatever you're getting. Even if you're buying everything they have, you're still going to get what's out there to get. And that kind of brings me to what my recommendation is. So first of all, if you're in a hurry, if you're a good closer and in a hurry and can handle lower quality consumers, then go with Google first and backfill with Facebook. If you're not as good a closer, you need people who will close better, a better quality person to come in and make sure they meet certain parameters so they're qualified for care, go with Facebook first and then backfill with Google. Generally speaking, the way I would say blend it is get all the good search ones you can get and fill in the rest with Facebook. So maybe probably the 25% or 30% would be going for Google, and then the rest on Facebook to make sure that you can have the right number of people in there at every given time so that you're never really worried about the flow of new patients coming in. Okay? Anyway, so I hope that's cleared up what Google and Facebook are all about.